So in previous lecture, we discussed on structural evaluation of payment. So in that, we discussed how structural evaluation is different from functional evaluation. So structural evaluation is within the payment, and it is something to do with the capacity of the payment to carry the wheel load or the traffic condition on it. And there are ways to evaluate the structural capacity of payment through various methods, and one of the oldest method is BBD study. Now, BBD study exam point of view is very important. So many a times either question will be asked on the procedural aspects on BBD studies, or you have problem which is asked on BBD. I'll just see. I'll record a problem with a video, like what I did with the MacLoad method, Kansas method, like that. Either it will be in the form of Zoom class, or I'll be recording a video and I'll be posting the same in coming sessions. Okay, and then we'll understand how the problem is solved using BBD studies. So procedure, understanding the procedure is also important part uh, with the exam point of view. Okay, so BBD studies is made a standard method in IRC 81 1997. Okay, so this Benkelman beam is named after a scientist who discovered this particular equipment and method. Okay, there was a scientist named AC Benkelman. So this method is named after that scientist, okay, who invented this method and equipment, simple equipment. We'll see how it works and all. Uh, so it is a static load testing procedure, and wherein the applied load onto the payment. So we usually apply the static load. Static load is the stagnant load applied on the payment, and we study the deflection characteristic of that payment. Whenever you apply a load onto the payment and it deflects, and you remove that load, it regains back. So if a payment is completely regaining back, then it is in good condition. Okay, and if it is having any residual deflection, what do you mean by residual deflection is there is a permanent deformation on the payment. You apply the load and it does not regain back to its original position, that is known as residual deflection. So based on this characteristic deflection or deflection studies, we design the capacity of the payment. Thus we go for extra layer of the payment based on the studies, that is known as overlay. So previous class I was discussing about this. So BBD studies, it is a structural evaluation of capacity of existing payment. Okay, and it is applicable for flexible payments only. Okay, so structural evaluation of flexible payment is done through BBD study. Okay, it is a static method. And later, once I conduct the BBD studies, I can go for estimation and design of overlay. Overlay is an extra layer coming on the surface of the payment. If your existing payment is not capable to take up the existing traffic condition. Okay. Okay. Why do you need for evaluation? Need for payment evaluation as and how the time and loading of the payment it deteriorates with climatic conditions, traffic conditions. There are other environmental factors. Okay. So it is to evaluate how the existing condition in terms of functional and structural evaluation. So as I was telling, overlay is nothing but extra layer. So this is the existing payment. We conduct the BBD studies on the existing payment, and then we understand what is the capacity or strength of this payment. Based on this capacity, we arrive the overlay, which is the extra layer coming on the existing layer. Okay, that is done through BBD in order to reinforce the existing layer. Scope. Okay. Performance of the payment depends on n number of parameters. So elastic deflection of payment under wheel load, it is based on the soil type and what is the moisture content, what is the amount of compaction, what is the thickness of existing layers, quality of the payment course, and what type of drainage condition are there for that road, whether it is having the subsurface drainage system or surface drainage system, what type of drainage are being provided, what is the rainfall data. So payment performance is based on all these parameters, and elastic deflection also depends on these things. These are the major five things. One is the soil type and the moisture content to it, compaction of those soils, thickness, quality of the payment course, and then we have drainage condition. So uh, the whole aim of this test conduction is to find out the rebound deflection. Okay, rebound deflection, I told you, you apply certain load on the pavement, static load on the pavement, and you remove that load, there is some rebound. Okay, it regains back. So that is known as rebound deflection of standard wheel load and pressure, tire pressure. So those two things should be taken care. So rebound deflection, as I told, you apply the load on the pavement, it deflects, and you remove it, uh, regains back its original position. So equipment, we discussed this. There is a Benkelman beam, very simple equipment and easy to carry out the test procedure, but it is tedious. It involves some manual effort to conduct the test and collect the data from the field. Okay, so uh, it is a beam wherein you have the probe at one side wherein it takes the deflection. Okay, this is the plan view. I'll just show uh, in the pictorial form how it looks. So this is how it looks. So this is a Bankelman beam measurement. So it involves a truck of standard load. I'll be telling you how much load it should take. A dual wheel assembly. In this picture, it is not clear. There are two wheels, and in between these two wheels, the beam will be inserted. That end is known as probe. Okay, and there is a hinge, and this is one more at end part of the beam, which is having. This is a dial gauge to measure the deflection. There is a level tube to ensure that the beam is exactly leveled, and there is a handle to it. Okay, so to carry this equipment, this is how it is done. The same thing with the dimensions they are given here. Okay, you can see here the same pictorial format. These are the front legs, back leg, and there is a beam with pivot at the end of the equipment. Okay, so we require certain prerequisites to conduct this procedure. So we require a loaded truck of dual wheel assembly. This wheel assembly should have this assembly or axle. It should be having a load of 8,170 kgs. Okay, so this is the standard axle load which is required, and this assembly, one end of the tire, these two tires, it should be having half of this 4,000. uh, Half of 170 will be uh, 85. Okay, so 4,085 will be the load coming on this part of your dual wheel assembly. Okay, and spacing 30 to 40 usually the tire spacing between these two is for 30 to 40 and pressure is also very important thing which should be taken care, and it should be 5.6 kg per centimeter square. Or in general, if you see some of the foreign textbooks, it will be mentioned as 80 psi. 80 psi stands for 80 pascals per square unit, pounds per square inch. Okay. So another thing what is required while collecting the data is thermometer to take the temperature of the pavement, and dial gauge to measure the deflection. So these two things are required. So deflection survey, how it is conducted. So payment condition survey is done as per 81. So first we survey the surface condition, how it is, whether it is cracked, what is the thickness of the uh, bituminous layer, okay, and then measurement of deflection is done. So how exactly we do the measurement? So minimum 10 points are taken, okay, and these 10 in order to conduct the structural evaluation using BBD studies, we require minimum of 10 points at an interval of 50 meters. So if you are taking 1 point, then there should be another reading which is taken at 50-meter interval, okay, and location of the point is on the wheel load, okay. So wheel load, where it is coming from pavement edge, it is 60 centimeter, it is mentioned here, 60 centimeter from the pavement edge, approximate where the traffic is going on the road, okay. So as per the lane they are given, if the lane width is 3.5 meters, okay, then the whatever the reading should be taken at 0.6 meters or 60 centimeter. If the lane width is more than 3.5, that means more than one lane, two lanes or three lane, if it is there, then we go for taking for 90 centimeter. Okay, if it is one lane road, then we go for 60 centimeter. uh, the studies are conducted at 60 centimeter from the edge of the lane. If it is more than one lane, then we go for 90 centimeter from the edge of the road. So those are the location of the points where deflection is measured. So procedure. So how this deflection study is taken is, so at one point, okay, three readings are taken. Suppose I want to start the BBD studies on pavement on the edge of the, if it is one lane, 60 centimeter from that edge of the pavement, I keep the instrument, the truck will be coming on that point, okay. So Benkelman beam deflection studies are taken, deflection are taken at 3 points. So first point is known as initial reading, or it is always represented by D naught, okay. Then D1 is the initial reading. So initial reading is A point. So B will be the intermediate reading and C will be the final reading. So initial reading exactly at the loaded wheel, okay, and the truck will move from this point at 2.7 meters. So at 2.7 meters the truck will be stopped and deflection is measured, that is the intermediate reading. And further from 2.7 meters it further moves to 9 meter. So at 9 meter again the truck will be stopping here, so that is represented by final reading, or else it is represented by D2. So we measure the deflection. So at one point we are measuring three readings, okay. Then go 50 meters ahead, stop the vehicle, again note down A point, that is initial reading, intermediate reading and final reading at 2.7 meter, 9 meter respectively. So these three sets of reading is for one reading, okay, 1 point. Okay, this is how it is. Readings are taken. So this is the dual assembly. Probe will be kept on this. So we keep this Benkelman beam in between these two dual wheel assembly of 5.6 kg per centimeter square tire pressure, and the standard load, okay, also consider. Then so first reading will be taken, initial reading, then the truck moves ahead, the beam will be here itself, okay. So initially because of the loading, there will be some deflection on the pavement. So initial reading, it moves 2.7 meters ahead. Then in this dial gauge, deflection is measured. Okay, some recovery will be there once this load is removed. The deflection will be measured here. Okay, that will be intermediate reading. Further from 2.7 to 9 meters, it further moves. Then at 9 meter again, this truck stops. The beam will be here itself, and we record that reading. That will be the final reading. Okay, so procedure, select the point and you should mark on the pavement. So this is the edge. From edge, either it is 60 centimeter or 90 centimeter based on the number of lanes. Okay, so the probe, this is the probe which will be inserted in between the dual tire assembly. Okay, so dial gauge, we use this dial gauge to measure the deflection. So initial reading is recorded when the rate of deflection is less than 0.025. This is the standard value. So if it is less than or equal to 0.025 mm per minute, so that will be the initial reading. Okay, then truck moves slowly at a speed of 8 to 10 meter per second approximately. Okay, at a distance of 2.7, and it is stopped. That point we record the intermediate reading as I. So this I can be represented by D1 also. So initial reading is most of the textbooks they mention as D naught as as the initial reading. Intermediate reading is recorded as D1, and final reading is recorded as D2. Okay. So in this PPT it is mentioned as I. Then truck is further moved to 9 meters. Then final reading D2 or F is recorded. So this is the test data how it is recorded on the field. So at the same time, when you are taking these deflection readings from BBD studies, we need to make sure that the pavement temperature is also recorded. Okay, so pavement, we drill that pavement, and with the help of, we fill that hole with the glycerin, and with the help of thermometer we record the temperature also, pavement temperature also. At every hour the temperature is recorded. Okay, and tire pressure is also constantly checked at an interval of 3 to 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so that pressure of 5.6 kg per centimeter square should be maintained throughout the test. So coming to the calculation. So then after how this is analyzed is, find this S is represented by initial, I is represented by intermediate, initial and final. Okay. So if the differential reading, if you find the differential reading as less than or equal to 0.025 mm or 2.5 divisions in the dial gauge, then true ribbon deflection at the standard temperature xt is given by 2 into initial minus final reading, the deflection. If it is exceeding 0.025 mm, then xt is equal to 2 into initial minus final plus 5.82 initial intermediate minus final. So this is depending on the deflection values. If it is less than 0.25 or 2.5 division, then directly we take this as the deflection, ribbon deflection. If it is exceeding, then we apply this as the formula to calculate the ribbon deflection. Okay, and the standard temperature is 35 degrees. It is wrongly mentioned as 20 degrees, but the ribbon deflection standard temperature is 35 degrees Celsius. Okay, so effect of temperature. Now standard temperature, as I told, it is 35 degrees Celsius. So if your pavement is above this standard temperature or below this standard temperature, then we need to go for correction. Okay, so correction is applied uh, if it is 40 mm and above, then correction is applied. No correction for these layers. these different factors like thin bituminous surfacing, severe cracking, bituminous layer is stripped, then there is no correction is applied for this. Directly overlay will be given. Okay. So correction is applied if your pavement surface temperature, surface layer is 40 mm. Okay. So correction will be positive if your standard, when the temperature is above standard temperature. Positive when it is more than 35 degrees Celsius. Correction will be positive if it is more than 35 degrees Celsius. Okay. Correction will be negative when your standard temperature is less than. So if you get 25, then negative correction will be applied to the deflection values. Okay. So correction factor is you multiply 0.01 with the deflection. So that will be the correction what you are applying. 0.01 mm per degree rise or fall in the temperature. Okay. So if it is more than 35, this correction will be positive. Okay. If it is less than 35 degree, then the correction applied will be negative. Okay. So through those studies, we carry out the overlay design. Okay. So mean deflection is given by uh, summation of the deflections, whatever the number of deflections. Okay. So those summation, all the deflection we add up, then divided by number of readings what you take. Then we go for standard deviation. Sigma, we calculate the sigma. Okay. So this X is the individual reading minus the mean reading square divided by this whole square root of this parameters, then divided by n minus 1. N is represented by number of readings. So we find out the mean deflection and standard deviation for the conducted datas. So then we find out the characteristic deflection. So characteristic deflection is given by DC value. Okay. So if your traffic is more than 1100 CVPD, okay. So if your commercial vehicle per day is more than 1500, or else they in many of the textbooks if it is mentioned as national highways or state highways, wherein the traffic is always more than 1500. But we need to understand this deflection, characteristic deflection is applied. You use this formula when your traffic condition is more than 1500. Okay. So characteristic deflection is given by mean, this mean plus 2 times the standard deviation. Okay. So characteristic deflection is given by mean plus 2 times standard deviation if you are going for national highways and state highways. If it is for other roads like you have major district roads or rural roads, then characteristic deflection is given by mean plus standard deviation. That's it. Okay. So this is the analysis. Based on this DC, we calculate the thickness of the overlay. Okay. Now this is given in IRC 81, wherein you can see on your y-axis there is a bituminous macadam overlay. Okay. So how much thickness of overlay we need to give, it can be determined on your y-axis, and x-axis is the characteristic deflection which we got from this formula. Okay. So how we got this formula is mean calculation, standard deviation. Once we find out, then we can find out this characteristic deflection which is given for different category of roads. So if I get somewhere around 2 as my character deflection after I conduct the studies, these curves represent the traffic in million standard axles, MSA. You can see here, MSA. So these curves represent the traffic on that road. Okay. So if my traffic is 5 MSA and I got 2 as my a characteristic deflection. Okay, just take this and cut this particular curve of phi. So phi is here 2. Then we can find out the overlay thickness. So overlay thickness will be somewhere around 130 mm BM overlay. Okay, this is how we find the overlay thickness through BBD studies. Okay, so this concept will be very clear if you solve a problem on this. So they give the number of datas. So after we conduct the BBD studies, we collect a lot of datas. Then through that data, we find out the mean deflection. Okay, then find out the standard deflection deviation. Then this DC is calculated. We get some value here. Okay, then this value is taken. Traffic data will be given. Based on traffic data, we need to find out the thickness of the overlay. Okay, so this is how the analysis of BBDs is done. So undulated surface is the concept of overlay is nothing but undulated or distressed surface. Then we strengthen this particular surface with the overlay surface. So that is how we calculate the deflection. Did you understand? If you have
Yes, sir.
any doubts, please clarify now. I'll be sharing this.
So I had one doubt, sir.
Yeah, tell.
So the X values which we are taking, sir, it is just of the intervals of 50-50 or 50 with the 3 values, sir.
This is the final true deflection value. Wait, I'll just show you. Okay, this is the true rebound deflection. That this is nothing but the X value, what I told. So this X value,
Okay, sir.
this X value is nothing but the true deflection. How we get this true deflection? It is once I subtract these values, okay, I get one X value out of these 3 readings. Initial reading is there, intermediate reading is there, final reading is there. Okay. Tushar, are you getting?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
from one point on the road, I get 3 deflection values. Okay. From
Yes, sir.
these 3 deflections, I get one value as X. This X is calculated like this. There are some conditions for this. So this X is used
Okay.
here while calculating the mean. So this X is integration part of all these 3 values, 3 deflection values. This is a true deflection.
Yes, sir.
And these are the number of tests what you conduct on the field.
Okay, sir.
Is it clear or?
Got it, sir.
Sure.
Yes, it's clear, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. Then this is a character deflection based on the traffic condition on the road. Mean plus 2 times of standard deviation. You apply for national highways, state highways. State highways, national highways, because the traffic condition is more than 1500 CVPD. We shall join again. We are left with only 2 minutes. We will be finishing off with FWD. Little part is there. I'll just finish it off that.
Okay, sir.
Please join again. Please leave and again join. Okay.
Yes, sir.